Some NNPP leaders in Lagos today says they have suspended NNPP presidential candidate and national leader, former governor of Kano State, Rabi Musa Kwankunso. House of Reps fumes over allegations of extortion over job racketeering and members' investigation into employment in Nigeria. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. It's good to be back on the show. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloe in Abuja. Tonight, a lot to talk about. So much on the political scene in the country. Interesting scenarios playing out in Nigeria. Can you imagine someone who put together a political party, became the presidential candidate, they call him the national leader, but now there seems to be some internal wrangling, so much that some leaders of the party said, you are suspended. What could be happening in the NNPP, leading to Kwankunso's suspension? We'll be hearing from both sides tonight. Plus, one of our biggest stories tonight on the program is the issues in the House of Reps. Recently, the House constituted a committee, a hard-out committee, led by the chair of the Navy Committee, Honorable Gagdi, to look into job racketeering in Nigeria, to probe the employment issues that are being done that are laden with a lot of corruption. But now, there was a publication saying that there was an allegation of extortion from the agencies. We'll be hearing from the chair tonight what really went on, and some other issues bordering on the state of the nation. Stick around with me, everyone, because it promises to be some engaging conversations tonight. But first and foremost, let's tell you that the All Progressives Congress, APC, appears to be ready for the 3 governorship election in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa State. As today, they've constituted a campaign council for these governorship elections that will be happening on the 11th of November. So the list is being out. The party had made ministers, sitting governors, members of the National Assembly to lead the campaign organization in the 3 states. And we're seeing this move also happening in some political parties. So, everyone, time is of the essence tonight because we have a lot on our plate on the program. Let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
Nigerian businessman Tony Elumelu has applauded some of the economic decisions taken by President Bola Tinubu, saying the private sector is encouraged by the decisions. Mr. Elumelu met with the president at the presidential villa today in Abuja. The entrepreneur said he believes with time, Nigerians will benefit from the decisions taken.
The private sector is encouraged with the bold decisions President Bola Tinubu has taken. And we hope that in the fullness of time, Nigerians will benefit from it.
The ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives, which is probing alleged non-remittance and utilization of housing funds from 2011 till date, has summoned the Accountant General of the Federation. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Gachung Bagos, who announced the summons, said the decision to summon the Accountant General was to get full information on deductions of national housing funds of Nigerian workers and remittance of same to the Federal Mortgage Bank. The Central Bank of Nigeria is also expected to appear before the committee on Thursday. The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NATI, has launched an online project that will provide information about politically exposed individuals who are beneficial owners of companies in the country's extractive sector. The project, which is jointly launched by NATI and other public accountability organizations, is designed to hold politically exposed people who are in the business of extracting the country's mineral resource accountable. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, has announced 825 125.81 million naira as compensation to Abuja indigents to pave way for the construction of the second runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. He made the announcement after a negotiation meeting with the Minister of Aviation, Mr. Festus Keyamo, the officials from both ministries and representatives from their agencies, as well as stakeholders from JUA, the affected community in Abuja. The 825.8 million naira, according to the minister, is to incentivize the residents to vacate the community and seek their cooperation towards the completion of the 4.2-kilometer second Abuja runway project, originally awarded in 2022. The Labour Party in Imo State has accused the ruling All Progressives Congress of pulling down its campaign billboards ahead of the November 11 governorship election. At a press briefing in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the publicity secretary of the Labour Party in the state, Mr. Bright Ofurum, said agents of the Imo State Signage and Advertisement Agency allegedly invaded their secretariat unlawfully to remove their campaign signages over purported non-payment of signage levies. The LP spokesperson describes the action as unacceptable. Meanwhile, the Imo State government, through the Commissioner of Information, Mr. Declan Emelumba, says the allegation is false and baseless. The commissioner says the alleged invasion was not perpetrated by agents of government, but a faction of the Labour Party, which doesn't recognize Athan Achonu as the governorship candidate.
And there you have it. You've been served with your political roundup stories. Let's dive straight into our very first conversation tonight. The chairman of the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee investigating job racketeering in ministries, departments, and agencies of government, Yusuf Gagdi, said that the committee would not be intimidated by any act of blackmail against it by agencies of government. The committee, however, summoned vice-chancellors of all federal universities to appear before the committee on Friday, September the 1st, alongside the National University Commission, NUC, to make their presentation and defend their allegation. The Honorable Gagdi says that the committee was determined to make a recommendation to the House that will reposition the nation's public service, saying the committee would not be deterred by any act of blackmail. This statement is coming on the heels of an allegation in the publication of an online newspaper, Premium Times, alleging that some members who are involved in the ad hoc committee have been engaged in extortion of some of these agencies of government. Now, the House of Reps itself, through the spokesperson of the House, Honorable Akinrotimi, said that the House will look into this matter and will not allow the name of the House to be brought to disrepute. Let's get talking on this one. Amidst all of these issues broadening on the state of the nation, perhaps for those of you who have not been following the probe in the House, let me allow you to listen to some of the sound bites from the past sessions in the probe.
Good morning, my colleagues, and good morning.
To us, in this committee, and by extension National Assembly, pending the recommendation to the House by this committee, at the risk of perhaps sounding immodest, waiver is a fraud. Because agencies are hiding under waiver to recruit their family members, to recruit their friends, to recruit those that give them money, to sell slots, etc., etc.
Have nothing to hide. Don't do anything shady within the commission. Among the applications that we have the best of the best among them. They attach their resume, and so we can select from there. We take into consideration these facts, as well as the national spread.
Those are some of the sessions. There are a lot of them in JAMB, in several MDAs. There are explanations that have been made. Let me allow you to listen tonight to the chair of the House Committee on these Ad Committee special panel to probe these on employment issues. And of course, he's also the chair of the House Committee on the Navy. He's from Plateau State and a member of the APC, Honorable Yusuf Gadi. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you too.
Yeah, I saw the statement coming out from your office about these allegations of extortion. Is it true that yourself and some members were collecting money from these agencies?
Read again, they didn't mention me. I was not part of the allegation. But as a chairman of the committee, I should not allow the name of the committee to be ridiculed. So there is nowhere in the whole of the publication that it was alleged that I was suspected or even accused of. The only thing I was called on phone by a reporter of the publication asking whether I'm aware of that. And I told him I'm not aware of that. So accusation was on a member of the committee, as the publication have, not on the chairman of the committee or members of the committee. I think it was referred to a member of a committee.
And which is is it?
And when he called
is that the name of the member?
I think so. That was what they published.
From Osun State,
yes.
right.
So when they called me, I told them who alleged that allegation. As a journalist, if there is an allegation against an individual and you can publish the name of the person you are thinking, X-raying his antecedents and what have you, what stopped you from mentioning specifically the name of the person that alleged that person was engaged in him in anything? So I should have expected to be fair to the situation, not to be... Why we FUMS, we did not align and agree with that publication is it was concluded that he have done that. So if you are suspecting that, approach the chairman. You've called me on phone. I've told you I'm not aware. But I've asked you, you say Vice Chancellor. Who's the Vice Chancellor? In the first instance, we invited Vice Chancellors of the universities across Nigeria. We invited polytechnics, colleges of education. If you check that publication, they said that the engagement included rectors of the federal polytechnics. Meanwhile, they have not even appeared before the committee. So how would any activities would have transpired between whosoever they are suspecting with the rectors of the... So we have our reservation. But again, I think as a chairman of this committee, I should be very careful in making comment about some of those things. I know there was nothing like that, but Wale Oke will be back to explain if there is anything like that. But to the best of my ability, when university vice chancellors appeared before the committee, we have not even interacted with them. The only thing that was collected publicly with members of the press there was their addresses. They make submission through the National University Commission, and a separate date was put together for them to appear individually based on one university after another.
Honorable, there are inferences that the reason for this kind of extortion is such that some of those who appear will be given a soft landing as against some of the things that
in following the activities of the committee. Can you say that there is one agency that was not scrutinized to the best of our ability? This is the first committee that we know we are under oath as public office holders, and we subject the agencies appearing before us under oath before interrogating them. So tell me, if there had it been the activities and the antecedent of the committee suggest that there is soft landing for anybody, then you can say that. You can say that, yeah, we have seen example in the video and picture, we have seen you interrogating agencies that you give soft landing to others. So therefore...
That is the inference that are being made, Honorable. And you imagine that if you are probing a corruption, an allegation of corruption is being leveled against your committee members, what do you think naturally should be done?
That is why I say Wale Oke is not in the country. When he returns back to the country, he will be given the opportunity.
And you know what happened, Honorable? A lot surfaced. In fact, his own altercation with Honorable Abdulmimim Jibrin about 6 years ago or thereabout, where issues came up and these similar allegations are being leveled against him.
There is fundamental difference.
Have you seen that?
There is fundamental difference.
Have you seen that publication too?
Yes, but there is fundamental difference between this and the previous allegations. In the area of Abdulmimim Jibrin, Farouk Lawal, there is consensus between the person that alleged and proof from the person that equally have said to be. They have made publication of sensitive information. So first thing first, let the universities, we conduct our hearing open. Let the university come and appear before the committee on Friday.
How easy would that be? Because they are going to appear before you.
Just like
there's going to be a fear factor to
why,
think that if they appear before you.
If the vice chancellor is not scared to mention that a member of a committee have approached him for financial exchanges to even give the fourth realm of the estate, members of the fourth realm of the estate, those information, why will he be scared to tell that? It means he's mischievous. Let him come before the committee.
In the course of your work in any way,
it doesn't.
Does it take away the fact that Nigerians may not be able to trust your committee work?
Am I the one, the chairman, that is being accused?
I'm asking, a member of your committee is being asked.
We have a committee of 39 representatives with about 7 co-opted members. You choose one person, not the leader of the committee, that is the chairman of the committee, not even the clerk of the committee, and that undermines
for the sake of natural justice. Well, what do you think should be done? If there is an allegation on one person in that committee, should that person be sitting? What does the law say about issues of morality, issues of natural justice?
In this situation, he is innocent until he is found guilty. So it's left for the explanation he will provide to the committee as well as the leadership.
Are you going to probe that member too?
It's not within our mandate to probe him. Our mandate is to probe job racketeering, not to probe a member of a committee. The leadership that put in place the committee knows the question to ask regarding to what happened, as per the allegation against 1 out of 37 members of that committee.
How mind-boggling are some of your investigators? I mean, what do you have?
You have seen it, and that is why I say if we have not been transparent and fair, you would have given me one example in the area of trying to give soft landing to anybody. We've seen this situation as a situation that is aimed at rescuing our public sector. We have seen what we have seen. Maybe if you
have not discovered, Honorable.
A lot. One, yes,
how bad? How bad?
Very bad, as dirty as anything you may look at. When you have a situation whereby institution responsible for capturing of people to be enrolled in IPPIS have been accused of conniving perhaps with even some of the university when they recruited 200 and you end up capturing 300 against the budgetary provision of the government.
So the money goes into people's personal pockets?
Certainly. We have probed that.
Coming from your for your probe, we've also seen where people said that they were being paid to buy.
That is why I don't want to play in the hand of politics. Perhaps people want to divert the attention of the committee. They have not seen anywhere they will accuse the chairman of the committee. Therefore, they have issues with one member of the committee. They are accusing him to distract us from the central attraction of what we are doing. By the special grace of God, I keep on giving assurance that this ad hoc committee will be one of the best committee, and a committee that haven't submitted report on the floor. We will pay, and such report should be publicized so that the citizen of this country will know which agency and which agency are defrauding them from their taxpayers' money. We are not going to be moved from that. When I saw this allegation, let me get even back to it. I tried to caution members of the committee not to be instigated and mention some of our findings. If you have a situation whereby you send IPPI's officers to go to federal institution and capture, then you have ghost workers added to the number of legitimately recruited civil servants. And you have find out that you are engaging such personality, and you begin to hear some of these allegations. I will not equally want to conclude that they want to deliberately and systematically, try to lock our mouth from allowing them to come to face Nigerians and speak justice. And by God's grace, people will see what will unfold in the next future, in the next days.
So, I mean, there is this fear. I mean, you remember the Honorable Hembe Committee and what happened with the chair, with the ED of SEC. You remember.
That is why we summon the vice chancellors. Instead of them to come next week, we ask them to come on Friday at the point that this thing is going on. If the person they are accused have done that, They should behave like a Hembe situation. I want a head of the agency that...
And you know, remember what happened in the NDDC matter?
So that I remember. I want them to come and off the
Honorable
mic.
off the mic.
Yes. So I want them to come. If there is anything like that, I'm sure.
You are the chair now.
I'm the one
I hope you
chairing.
will not off the mic at that time.
Certainly I will not.
When people are spilling.
They will not spill against me. It's a different situation. They have the purpose.
Your hands are clean.
My hands are clean. They have not even accused me. Rather, they call me to confirm whether that thing is like that. So, if you come to speak, you are speaking against the person you are accusing, and he wouldn't be the one to off the mic or on the mic. I'm the one to control the mic, whether it should be
Honorable
off or on.
Gagri, would this be the dirtiest thing you've discovered as a public officer within the public space in Nigeria?
In times of public sector, public service, yes, I agree. This is one of the mind. If I don't want to preempt our position. I don't want Nigerians. I don't want at this point in time. We have procedure. We are committees. We are asked to investigate, to report on the floor of the House, to discuss our report by 360 members, to refer it to a committee of the whole. Decision will be taken on our recommendation at the end of the day. So
people were just employing their cronies.
Definitely.
They were just populating.
In the names of waiver, they will apply to Federal Character Commission, collect waiver. Waiver, what is waiver? There is not even place for waiver in the provision, in the act establishing the federal character. There is no any provision that waiver should be granted. Waiver is a creation of the federal character to be able to, perhaps the intention was good, but now waiver is to give agencies the power not to advertise vacancies within their agencies for recruitment. If you have waiver, you have the right to collect CVs from the back door, packet them, whether there is federal character representation or non-federal character representation, give appointments to people that you may so wish. And in that situation, it suffocates the common man on the street who have gone to school, who is first-class holder.
So you cannot easily apply for a job if you don't know somebody.
Before you hear of the job has been shared among either political office holders,
this also brings to the fore because in the appointment of President Tinubu, there are allegations of people within and around, in the kitchen cabinet of the president, and your very good friend and brother, Femba Jabiamila, is the chief of staff. There are those also who have raised issues about appointment and federal character, even under President Tinubu.
That is why, in my opinion, I don't want to exonerate even the member of my committee that was accused. But I have this phobia, not phobia, myopic in court understanding regarding to performance. You cannot be doing well and expect people not to hit you or slap you. But they will not come to your face and slap you if you are doing well. I am expecting the accusation and the attack on my friend, brother, and leader, my boss, Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, to be there. So as long as he is doing his job accordingly, you don't expect people not to pass as passionate as him. And if you know the responsibility of the chief of staff, to the president, to the governor, to the local government, you are the engine room politically of government activities regarding to your principal, regarding to the president in the case of Femi Bajabiamila. And so, you are the president, in other words. You can be called not in times of powers, because you are the image maker of Mr. President. His decision, you are the first to see president in the morning by virtue of being the chief of staff, and you are the last to see him. So in this circumstance, even if you see the president and he abused you in the morning, nobody knows. If you are going to sleep as the last person to leave him, and he abused you, nobody knows. As far as the general public are concerned,
so you trust that
sees president in the morning and in the night. Therefore, any decision of the president, Femi must have influenced it. And I believe, again, that is greatly unfair to the chief of staff, to the president. Because, one, looking at the political pedigree of Mr. President, to say that his chief of staff will be the sole determinant of his decision, you are underrating and undermining the achievement of Mr. President, his political achievement, in times of being a senator of the Federal Republic, in times of being a governor, 2 times governor in this country that passed through teething trouble to survive as a governor of Lagos, and in terms of various other political experience that Mr. President has. So you cannot look at some of us, Yusuf Gagdi, for instance, and say that all is not well the chief of staff to the president is the one controlling and coordinating the direction of Mr. President. I will tell you, no, that is not the kind of president that Nigeria have. We have a president that knows his left from his right. We have the president that knows wrong from the right. We have the president that knows decision that is in the best interest of his administration. We have a president that come prepared to know what he want to achieve. That certainly you cannot tell me someone remote control him at this level.
But if you look at what is going on at the moment, there are those who have raised flags against the appointment and some of the cabinet members of President Tinubu, that those who say they are disappointed, that they were expecting, they have a level of expectations, but their expectations were cut short.
Are you telling me that the people that were appointed have no capacity to deliver?
I mean they're Nigerians, and they have the right to raise questions and eyebrow about the appointment if they have expectations.
Mention to me one person that doesn't have the capacity to be a minister.
I'm asking a direct question
okay, my answer
on
to you
what
is
Nigerians feel about the caliber of persons based on their expectations on the president of the formation of cabinet, based on what he has done in Lagos. They said, look, he's a talent hunter. Do you think that this cabinet meets the expectations of Nigerians?
I will answer that, but Sheon, are you telling me that Nigerians or some Nigerians, few Nigerians, people have right to say what they want to say? It's politics. People reserve the right to judge their ministers.
So 100%,
people,
this cabinet is perfect.
It's perfect. You have just appointed people. You didn't give them the benefit of the doubt to perform. You are drawing conclusion that they cannot do anything. We have seen people that Nigerians doesn't know them, that were imported from abroad in the past regime, and they have come to do better than the people you think they can do better. In the past, we have seen people that you have confidence in them, that you think if giving them the opportunity to serve in the Federal Executive Council, they will do better.
Even with a lot of controversies surrounding the personality, the profile, the background, educational issues surrounding some of those the president have appointed. You think that some Nigerians are not right in their criticism of the caliber of president that President Tinubu have put together?
I am not a senator, so I'm not privileged to have those complaints against those individuals. But again, Sheon, we are in a political era that in this circumstance, both the ruling party and the opposition party, in terms of political patronages, people are envious of one another. As you are sitting down here, let your CV be taken to the National Assembly and see whether they will not say you always wear blue tie. Meanwhile, they know you are on red tie. So people they will define your eyeglass and tell you that it is meant to correct short-sightedness. Meanwhile, you are just doing it for fashion. So until you are given the opportunity to benefit from political patriotism, you will know who loves you and who doesn't love you.
You think that this cabinet will perform?
I don't believe, therefore, that the allegations may be true. It may come from political enemies of those people that were appointed. And I equally do not undermine the National Assembly, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that have opened through the pages of the curriculum vitae of those that have benefited from Mr. President appointment, and you tell me 109 people will not have tell you that there are incriminating issues against some certain individuals and therefore they cannot be confirmed. Why will I believe on people that could have their political differences with those appointees? Finally, the cabinet will perform. I am very optimistic. And as a Nigerian, I want you to be optimistic too, because you have to give them benefit of the doubt. Because people are nominated, are just appointed, you begin to cast aspersion at them, you begin to discourage them. That is Nigeria for you. I expect us to pray for them and to give them the opportunity to showcase their talent and see how they will partner with Mr. President in taking Nigeria to the next level.
Is it a matter of casting aspersion? These are questions to put these people on their toes, isn't it?
It's not to discourage them, it's not to put them...
If you're asking a question about the capacity of someone and his profile, pedigree, capacity in a particular role, is it aspersion? You are just asking a legitimate question.
When you are equally accusing the person of non-qualification, he's not qualified to occupy those positions, you think it's not aspersion?
So Nigerians are not right to raise a
Nigerians are right to say that you do have the capacity to deliver. But those other Nigerians that are saying, that are trying to pull those nominees down, unnecessarily without any concrete reason, it's not supposed to be like that. We should, as a representative of the people, wait and see if these ministers fail Some of us will call them with their fathers and mothers' name.
You know,
but at this level, what do you expect?
Some Nigerians cannot wait for another failure because Nigerians have really
so
been
we should assume
and hurt. No, just a moment. Nigerians are now benefiting or suffering from the failures of the past. We don't have time for failures any longer.
That is what we should say.
There is no time for failure.
That is what we should say. And we should do the right thing, support the people that are put in place, and tell them we cannot tolerate, just like Mr. President did tell them in the inaugural Federal Executive Council meeting. Nigerians have high expectation on you. Nigerians will not be patient to tolerate failure. I, the president of Nigeria, will not tolerate failure. This is how we should behave.
Right.
Give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll pray for them. Allow them to showcase their talent and see whether they will recover the economy of Nigeria, whether they will partner with Mr. President for serious infrastructural transformation, whether they will right the wrongs that is in the four angles of Nigeria.
Honorable Yusuf Gagdi, chairman of a committee on the Navy and the chairman of the Special Ad Hoc Committee investigating job racketeering and employment in the agencies of government. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We take a break, everyone, but when we come back, we'll delve into the matters relating to the NNPP. Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso suspended. The furor about this suspension and what is happening in the party. Alhaji Buba Galadima will be joining us next on the program to discuss some of these issues and the internal wranglings in the New Nigeria's People's Party. Join us again, everyone. Everyone for staying with us. There seems to be no end in sight in the crisis rocking the New Nigeria People's Party, one of Nigeria's young political party which emerged just before the 2023 elections. I remember when I had a conversation with Alhaji Buba Galadima at the time, he says, look, they have everything well put together as far as the party is concerned, that we will see political science in action. Well, in the party, there seems to be that the center is no longer holding, as now some members of the party will say they are, the BOT, the Board of Trustees of the party, have suspended the NNPP flag bearer and the leader of the party, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Senator Kwankwaso, a former Kano State governor who came forth in this year's presidential election, was suspended by the group led by the NNPP chieftains Boniface Aniebonam and Agbo Major. The group led by Aniebonam and Major were suspended. Kwankwaso at a special General Assembly meeting held at the Rockview Hotels in Apapa area of Lagos. But in Abuja, you know, that's part of what they said today on your screen about what they call anti-party activities that Mr. Kwankwaso is involved in. Now, Mr. Galadima and the national chairman of the NNPP and a few others were also in Abuja today. They had what they call the NEC meeting, where they said they've expelled Mr. Agbo Major and Agbo Nama. And now, what is exactly happening within the NNPP? The question that one will be wanting to ask. Alhaji Buba Galadima joins us live. He's one of the founding fathers of the NNPP. Thank you so much, Alhaji Galadima. You boasted, you told me that, look, you are experienced in putting a political party together, but things are falling apart in your party.
No, Sheldon. We are very much intact.
Really?
Yeah.
You have splinter groups now?
No. No.
Your friend, brother, leader, Kwankwaso has been suspended.
Well, I'm hearing that from you now. I thought what I saw in the social media was just like Nollywood or Hollywood jokes. Now you are confirming that social media event. First, let me make a small correction. Those that were expelled were Dr. Boniface Okechukwu Aniebonam. You didn't spell it very well.
Okay. Apologies for the wrong spelling of the name.
Yes. And Major Gabriel Agbo Major. Let me first say that we thank the founding fathers of this party who had the vision to form New Nigerian People's Party some 21 years ago. However, the party remained almost comatose until we came in last year, resuscitated it, give it life, give it tonic injection, and it became what it is today. As you have seen, a lot of people in this country are interested in this party in the sense that they felt, the other parties felt that they could only survive if they destroy this party. But unknown to them, we are as solid as the rock of Gibraltar.
Who are these people that you are alleging? That are
those who fear Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso's profile.
Who are these people?
You are a journalist. You are an investigative journalist. I'm giving you a challenge. Because those that sponsored those people...
Why do you send us on an unending
when I can tell you
when
now,
you can easily say it? Because there are those who will say, look, Alhaji Buba Galadima is just not saying the truth because, look, there are no persons that are after the NNPP. NNPP is after itself. There are those who perhaps will say that.
No. You know, there are a lot of things going under the carpet. After our research of these elections, you know, we didn't go to court. We discovered that even in the Northwest alone, Kwankwaso scored about 3.963 votes, which had not been accounted for.
3.96 million votes, or
which has not been accounted for. And in Bauchi, when we went to court, all the two major parties connived to make sure that they rigged us out in court. And one of them accused the other of having helped itself in about 6 or 7 local governments. And a recount was made. In that recount, it was discovered that NNPP had 160-something thousand extra votes that have not even been accounted for from the 90 that they gave us. In Nasarawa here, I'm taking one state, one zone after the other in the north, in the north. Nasarawa here, our candidate went to court. They gave him 11,000 votes. We discovered that he scored 117,000 votes. They just canceled 7 and left 11. And you can also see that there are a lot of issues coming on Kano. That's a subject that we will address on its own when it resurfaces. Because some people felt that oxygen must be removed from Kwankwaso's north. If he survives politically, they are in trouble in 2027.
Is this a fight between Ganduje and Kwankwaso?
I say when it ripens, no, because you will be the first person to
just
know.
Just a moment. If you go to Kano,
let's not divert from what brought me
and
here.
I'm mentioning names now because there is a Kwankwaso in the mix, which you have mentioned. In Kano, we know for sure that there is an opposition, which is a former governor and the national chairman of the APC, Ganduje. Is it the only opposition you have in Kano? You have some opposition in other places?
I say,
at the national level.
Mr. President will know that he has taken a scorpion and put inside his pocket.
Who is the scorpion?
Ganduje.
Why do you call him a scorpion? Is that right to call him He's a former governor. Why?
If he can stink, if he can stink his benefactor.
Who is that?
Senator Rabiu Musa Konkoso, that next to God, he made him what he is. There is no way that he will not do the same to Tinubu. And Tinubu should know that even as of today, he's been isolated from those under him because they take decisions and ram it on his throat without him really knowing. I am saying this so that he takes note before they throw him under the bus.
Let me take you to
let's go to what we
let me take you up on the Kwankwanso matter and the suspension. Just today, they are accusing him of anti-party activities, and you will see, you'll remember, he met with President Bola Tinubu of the APC. You've seen pictures of him with former Vice President and PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar. Is this enough evidence to show that he's actually involved in anti-party activities?
Thank you. Now you are safe, an investigative journalist. Since you know all this,
go ahead.
Look, the president had tried to see Kwankwaso on several occasions after the election. It didn't happen. And they agreed to meet in France. Kwankwaso had to bring the national caucus of the party and told them, look, the president wants to see me. What's your position? Everybody in that meeting, about 13 of us, spoke except myself.
Where was the meeting?
In Kwankwaso's house.
In Abuja here?
Yes. And all of them, except myself, I didn't speak, not because I didn't support, but because I know what was happening. So it's better for others who didn't have the privilege of knowledge of what is happening to make their opinion known. And each and every member of that national caucus said, why don't you go and hear Mr. President out? So, to cut a long story short, they met in France. They agreed to work together to uplift Nigeria and said they should come back and talk and carry their constituency along. They never met until the second time. The second time they met was when demolitions of Ganduja's properties, it's not the property of Kano people that was being demolished. And Ganduja is a devil.
Sorry, that's quite extreme.
So I withdraw.
I mean, that's extreme.
I withdraw. But when you let the bullet, it's very difficult for you to catch it.
Because I wonder why you lose God to have described someone as a devil.
Because I am in tension. Because I have already reasoned that I have very little time left to live on this earth. And I can't see the Nigeria I had all my life, over 70 years, worked to see working well for you and me and our children. I'm frustrated that only bad people succeed. So, Kwankwaso came to him and said, look, this demolition, look at this place. The company belongs to so-so-so. Look at the CSE board of directors, Ganduja's people. Look at this plot demolished, or this property demolished. Look at the owners, all of them linked to Ganduje.
But it doesn't mean that he owns them. They might be friends, family members, or those who are related to him in one way or the other. Does it mean that he owns all of them? That may not be factual, isn't it? To say that Ganduje owned all of the houses or the properties that have been demolished in Kano.
Did we say your name was there?
I'm saying.
I said, did we say your name was there?
Just a moment. I'm
just asking. No, I'm not. We are not quarreling.
No, I'm not quarreling with you.
I'm
just saying that we have to be factual on the program on what we tell Nigerians.
I say.
If you say that Ganduje owned all the properties that have been demolished, could that be factual? That's the question.
I say, was your name there? Why wasn't your name among those whose properties were demolished?
I don't own a property in Kano.
Thank you. Thank you. So, he explained to Mr. President the situation, what is happening. And the president said, oh, sorry, I didn't know that it is like this. That after all, I gave instructions, but that will be stopped. I don't want to mention what instruction. And they went ahead and started what they were doing.
Well, sir,
hold on.
No, I'd like to ask a question at this point.
Then
was a plan?
He met Mr. President 3 times. The last time he met Mr. President was that we wrote a letter to Mr. President. We, NNPP, wrote a letter to Mr. President that this is the rumors we are hearing, and that your people in Kano, this is what they say on radio, this is what they say in the social media, that irrespective of our clear victory in Kano that cannot be controverted in any court of law, they still say Kano is too large to be left in the hands of an opposition party. Therefore, they will take it by force, as they had done in 2019.
So that's a big fear for your side.
If you are in my shoes, what would be your position?
Has there been a conversation with the president and Mr. Kwankwaso about making Kwankwaso a member of President Tinubu's cabinet?
Yes, no. Yes, no.
Yes, in the sense that he was supposed to be a minister.
And no?
No, because it was dropped later on.
If they said they will work together, working together entails anything or nothing. I can work together with you. So, now we are working together because we are having a conversation.
So the alliance between Bola Tinubu and Kwankwaso has fallen.
It's not alliance. Kwankwaso is a nationalist, patriotic Nigerian who means well for this country.
So is that the same connotation or the same meaning you will draw into Atiku Abubakar and Kwankwaso meetings?
As a politician, we can meet with anybody. After all, we are meeting with you. The other time, I proved that you didn't vote for us.
I never voted. I've not voted in a long time.
So but we still meet, we still converse.
But the question is that if they allege that Mr. Kwankwaso is involved in anti-party activities, and some of these
conversations... He took permission from us.
But why are the Mr. Agbo Major, unfortunately...
Who is Mr. Agbo Major?
Major Agbo in your party.
Is he a member of the National Caucus?
Of the NNPP?
Yeah.
Is he not a national publicity secretary
of
the party?
What does that mean?
Unfortunately, he was supposed to speak to us, but we understand that there is a lot of noise in the background. He's supposed to speak to us from...
So, whatever is the case, Kwankwaso had a permission from the party to go and talk to Tinubu and talk to any other political group. So he didn't do it on his own. These people...
How do you resolve this matter with the national... the persons that met in Lagos today who are now in opposition against the Kwankwaso side?
Do you know them?
How do you resolve it?
How many of them do you know?
Are you aware of Agbo Major?
Of course, National Publicity Secretary.
So what do you do?
A member of the National Executive Committee of the party.
So what do you do? You say you have expelled?
He has been expelled. He's not a member of this party. And he knew because all of them that were expelled were called to a disciplinary committee and they were drilled and they accepted their sin, and it is on the basis of the acceptance of what they had done that they were recommended to the National Working Committee for expulsion. And the National Working Committee took a decision on behalf of NEC. And they knew that 21 days ago today, we wrote INEC that we are holding a National Executive Committee of the NNPP because you have to invite INEC to sit with you.
We need to go. You both said to me a few months ago, and you said that your political sagacity will be brought to bear. Is this what you're talking about? Your party that is falling apart?
When you didn't even allow me to land.
Your land. But
so we wrote INEC. They knew we were meeting today. INEC will be there. That the National Executive Committee will expel them. That is why they thought they will do a counter coup by 7 of them aggregating in Lagos to say that they've expelled Konkoso. In today's meeting, all the members of the National Executive Committee, except Major, were present.
All
the state chairmen, 37 of them, were present. All the members of the National Assembly of our party were present. All senators, all House of Assembly members of our party, our governor was also there. And me, the only member of the BOT, minus Ene Bonam, were there. We took this decision with INEC present. Therefore, they remain expelled
We need to
from
go
this
now.
party.
Thank you so much, Alhaji Buba Galadima, for joining us. But I still remind you, you boasted to me that you will build a party that is better than all political parties.
Is it
It's
not?
barely 6 months after the election. Your party is almost barely up. So thank you so much
when we have everybody
for speaking to
in
us,
the meeting today.
And someone is
Only one person
suspending your national leader. Alhaji Buba Galadima, thank you so much indeed for coming tonight. That's our show for today. I appreciate you for watching, wherever you may be watching. I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow again. God bless you.